Okay, so today I was thinking like, what if I tried to did the finger painting? Sounds so crazy. Like yeah, finger painting. So I took my gelatos, and they are like kind of the consistence of a creamy lipstick, you could say. Some of them are a little bit dried out, so it's good for me to use them up. I think it's like 6 years ago since I bought the first batch. What I did was that I bought a collection of just generic colors, and then I had bought this add-on which was with shimmery colors. So, but I still find that it's difficult to do intricate things. Like here, I'm trying to do a thumb and a hand, and it was a little bit clumsy and difficult. But the face went okay so far, I think. So I just wanted to turn on the camera. Oh my God, I can see now that I should have stopped right there because I am going to really mess up this hand later on. And that's the bad thing about these gelatos is that you apply it with this round tip that's rather thick. So sometimes it's a hit and miss if you need to uh, hit a specific tiny area like you would use a pencil. So yeah, it's I think it's a fun supply, but look here, it's just coming on too fat. So yeah, but um, I'm trying to finger paint. I don't know why it sounds so weird. It sounds so weird, but it is, finger painting. I am finger painting a mermaid, and she is not showing her whole tail because for some reason I just drew her too big. I'm working on a poster size, so it's a rather huge substrate. So I thought that I had like plenty of space. So I turned on the the camera and then I just started. And I can see when I'm drawing the back and the arm and everything that, oh shoot, there's not gonna be much room for a tail. So she's having her knees bent up and then she's resting her head on her, you could say, knees. So I I'm going to draw a bit of her tail. So it is like visual. I think that it's a mermaid in the end. But yeah, overall, I really am positive about playing with art supplies just using my fingers. I like when I'm applying it that I can stretch out my fingers so they don't need to be curled up, holding a tight grip around some sort of a brush or a shaft that's like slim. So the fat barrel from the gelato is pleasant and very nice to work with. And then that I can stretch out my fingers and I can very easily determine how much pressure I want to use. And since this is such a creamy supply, I don't need any pressure at all. It's a bit like using pastels, I think. Like soft pastel sticks, you don't need a lot of pressure to move the pigments around. So yeah, maybe pastels and then this gelato is a good fix to to try out if I want to paint something. Yeah, oh my God, this is such a long video. I should have sped it up more. Um, Here I'm using a champagne glitter color, and I picked it because it's a mermaid, so she can have this like glittery skin color. But my issue with the gelatos is that you very easily use up the white, and especially if you're making faces and skin tones. It's the same 3 or 4 gelatos that you tend to grab for, and then when those colors, when you're out of those colors, you just have random crazy colors left in your collection. And I have not yet seen if you can buy them single, like just one at a time. But I'm definitely running out of the white and then the kind of a buff titanium. So, yeah, I'm a little bit reluctant to go out and get a whole set just to replace that white and that the Titan buff stick. Because the plan is to use them up, right? Because they actually can dry out. So they can be a little bit harder to work with. I think you can dissolve them with water. So if you... Oh, hang on. I got a cat that wants out of the window. No, 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 Hugo. Whoa. Cats. I opened my window and it's raining outside, and then he wanted to jump out. It's the neighbor's cat visiting. It is just so cute. He comes in and visit and say hello, but he's a very young kitten. I think he's like a year old. So he's so super fast, compared to my cat. So, so in no time he's messing up things and putting himself in trouble, climbing on walls, like he's like really curious. But anyway, yeah. Um, because she's a mermaid, she needs to have a transition from her human flesh tone into a fishtail. So you will see me apply a lot of colors the further I get to the fishtail. So yeah, but there's nothing wrong using green and burnt sienna. It's normal for skin tone. So I do use a bit of yellow too, because I got some areas on her tail that I wanted to look a little bit like goldish, like yellow. So on her hips, I start to introduce a yellow, and it looks a little bit weird now where the tail is not there. It looks like, what the hell are you doing, Lena? So, but yeah, I really loved the way that the gelato just blend with one another. And I did not find that I left fingerprints. Sometimes if you're working with a very soft and creamy oil pastel stick like the Sennelier stick, you can't actually leave a fingerprint in your artwork, and it's not looking very nice. But for some oddball reason, I was really lucky today. I don't think that I left a lot of fingerprints. I was also very gentle when I'm smoothing it out. I don't pressure a lot. I just glide my hands over the application and then just smooth it out. But yeah, I really think it's fun to paint with your fingers. It's a different feeling. And maybe it went so well because I got such a huge substrate. So it's like touching the back of a person, if it makes sense. Like your fingers could feel that here should be a shoulder blade and this should be the spine. And you can, because the substrate is so big, you can just kind of let your fingers feel the shape, like when you're doing a sculpture, I guess. Yeah, that sounded a little bit weird because I'm on a flat piece of paper. The paper is just ordinary printer's paper, just in a big scale. So it's a copy paper that I'm working on. And I don't wet down the paper or use a damp brush or anything, so I don't tear it up. But I think that if I wanted to use gelatos like you do with stencils and stuff like that, where you use a wet baby wipe and dissolve it with water, then you would be in trouble just working on such a thin copy paper, because the paper would simply just begin to peel up And also when you are kind of like here, I'm giving her a rub on the back, I would really peel up the pulp of the paper if it was moist. So the gelato just got that dry, creamy application to the paper where, yeah, it sounded a little bit weird. How can it be dry and creamy at the same time? But it just is. So yeah, here I'm coming in with the yellow, and I know it's a good choice, but right when I put it down, I'm like, oh no. If there's something yellow can do, it's to take over. And it doesn't matter if you're using watercolor or another medium, yellow can be like really in your face. So I'm a little bit in doubt right now at this moment here if I had too much yellow on that skin tone. Yada yada. Love, love, love that dark. It's not a black, it is a dark copper with shimmer in it. And I loved it so much because it makes the dark look interesting because it's not black black, and it got a little bit of depth in it. I'm sorry that my camera doesn't really pick that up. I'll try and see if I can take a picture of this and then put it on Instagram so that you can kind of see the difference between that black and that dark copper stick, because it really was pleasant to work with it. Oh, I'm thinking maybe I'm getting in trouble on YouTube because this is like you could say a half naked torso. I hope not. I actually did like a male torso once, remember? And then it got flagged by YouTube and got a notification called nudity to it. And it sort of pissed me off because it's an art channel, So there is a difference. I know that some people are too shy to draw semi-naked people, but that's the best way, I think, in my opinion, to kind of learn is to draw people with less clothes on so that you get more experience in, how to make an arm look 3D and stuff like that. So, but I hope that I'm not gonna get into trouble with YouTube getting flagged for this one with nudity. Okay, so I better not put music on this. I was actually thinking because half an hour of this voiceover is a little bit extreme for me. So I was thinking I'm just gonna talk like 15 minutes and then put some music on in the end. But now I don't want to take the chance because if it's gonna get flagged because of the music and then they discover that there is half a boob in this one, then I might be pushing my luck. Okay, here go in with oil stick. It's not a super creamy oil stick, so it's kind of a firm oil pastel, and then I'm trying to make those mermaid scales. I don't really have a plan about how to draw them. I just know that they had this like roundish shape, scallop shaped, and I don't want to forcing myself to have to centangle a scallop shaped because the scallops have to turn different ways, whether they're coming down the thigh, bending over a knee, and then continuing on the front leg. Like this, the pattern of the scallops have to follow the body or the shape. So I know that it would be too much if I tried to follow a perfect shape. So I just go in with like wonky shapes, and I really am happy that I chose that solution because it can be a little bit tedious to if you because I'm not a syntangler, so I think it's tedious to do repetitive patterns like this. Oh, I got a cough. Oh, hang on. Oh man, sorry. Sorry, sorry. Yeah, now I skipped a little bit. I'm skipping a bit, actually a ton in this upload here because I'm running out of disk space on my computer. And my son was so cute to tell me that because I'm running out of disk space, my video editor program was not able to show me when I'm doing a voiceover the movie. It just showed me one frame and then skipped 5 minutes and showed me the next frame. So that's why my last voiceover was such a disaster. But this time here I managed to film and save exactly enough footage so that the frames will move in my movie maker program. Hooray! But it also means that I cannot have so much recorded files on the computer, which might be a good thing, right? Because otherwise I would do like uploads that last about 45 or 50 minutes. So, but this is filmed with sped up 4 times, and I painted on and off on this rainy day on this drawing, and I think I got up around, it was before 7 o'clock, and then I've been doing some things and taking some naps, and then I watched Colleen and Kathy Burke, and then I lurked some of Kathy Arbor made dinner, saw the rest of Kathy Arbor's stream, and now I am doing the voiceover. So you could actually say that I spent the whole day just on and off working on this finger painting. So it was time consuming. I don't know if it would have been less time consuming if I had used a different method, like a brush and just an ordinary acrylic painting style. I don't know. So yeah, but it's been a while since I've been using the gelatos. So there's also this kind of introduction curve when you have shelved a supply for a long time and then suddenly pick it up again after like 6 months or something. You kind of forgot. There are some things that you forgot is difficult with it. So I more noticed what I was not able to, um, since I'm not working with a brush, compared to any advantages like, oh, this is more fun, this is easier. It wasn't like that at all. It was more like if I had a brush, I would do this different. You know what I mean? Like if I had a brush, I would be able to lift off some colors also. But yeah, I I just liked that I continued throughout the whole piece to only use my hands, fingers, and then the current stick that the pigments came from, whether it's a crayon or the gelato container. Um, oh man, you can see my messy desk. You can see my big shot line there and my Bible. That book next to my big shot, I decorated it. It's the front of my Bible. I received this door made from Sandra Scraps to Beauty. She pushed it out in clay, and I just thought that it was so beautiful, and I was thinking to put it on something, and then it ended up on the front of my Bible, and I really love the that it's so special now, like I'm the only one with that kind of a front page, front book cover. What else can you see of my mess? You can see my floor. Okay, nothing exciting. Oh, dang. Now I'm gonna be a little bit nervous because I know in the end of this video, I'm pulling out the easel, and then you can probably see all of the mess in my room. I've had a lot of breaks, a lot of weeks in a row where I did not enter this room right here because I didn't create anything. And then slowly the family started to take it over. The first start to temporarily store something in your space, and then suddenly they're just moving in more and more items. So now where I'm back in my room, it feels so cluttered, because thing like there is an extra table in here and la la la. Like if I had had, let's just say, 6 more months of an art break, this room would have been 100% taken over by stuff from the house just ending up here. Here I am actually taking a tissue. It's not a baby wipe that's wet. It's like a dry tissue. And then I am pushing the pigments back and forth, and I can control it so good because it's dry tissue. Because if it was a wet baby wipe, it will dissolve a lot of pigment, so it would be the same as having like a sponge filled with pigment. But when the gelato is still moist and sticky, you can push it around with a dry tissue and then still have it somehow under control. So, yeah, I really just love the end of her mermaid tail, the way it just ends out in black. Okay, here I'm in trouble. Trouble. I am not the best at doing hairdos. I like to do them in wet watercolor, but now I'm kind of in in problems because I wanted this very vibrant orange hair, and the whole reason why the hand is an orange hue and her knees are in orange hues is because I imagined having this flaming fluorescent orange hair that's gonna illuminate her hand and her knees. But how to exactly paint it, it was difficult. But I did take like a fluorescent orange and then try and build up with the yellow and then red and then oh man, it looks so bad. Look at the striation right there in the hair. I dislike that so much. Yeah. Oh, really not pleasant to look at. But it also got like some funny abstract style to look at, like a little bit Gustav Klimt. But yeah, I was really fussing a lot with blending it out, softening it up, making it not look so streaky and stuff. So I just did that off camera because it was pushing it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So, and I still had to watch out not applying too much gelato because that would kill the fluorescent um, look of the orange. I can't just endlessly apply on top of each other. Yeah, now I am almost finished. It was a super positive experience to paint with my fingers. I think I'm gonna do it again. I actually don't feel tired in my hands and I am not sore at all. So it must have been very gentle working like this. And I think it's because my fingers were so stretched out so much in a relaxed position. So I think I will venture into the pastel, soft pastel, pan pastel kind of thing and then see if that helps. Here I am adding some glitter foil with um, matte medium. It's just some pieces of foil because I thought it could be fun to have something shiny on this big poster. You know, I like glimmer and shiny stuff. So yeah, but it was a little bit annoying filming, so I didn't film much of it. Here it's finished. Here she is. I like her a lot. I really think that I like that flaming orange hair a ton. And over and all, I'm just very pleased about the way she looks. And also, it was a fun um, day in the studio painting this. Oh my God, look at the mess behind in my room. Ah, yeah. There's no way to make all our stuff look neat. It's just got this cluttery look to it. So there's nothing to do about it. So, thank you for watching this far. I hope to see you soon out there in YouTube. And I wish you a nice day. And I hope that everything in your end is just perfect. So, bye bye.